Vancouver Point Grey.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The week after Realtor Bob Rennie told a reporter that he had advanced knowledge of BC's foreign buyer tax, and people got upset, he said it was all a big mistake. Even though Mr. Rennie was chair of the Premier's fundraising committee, he had pledged to raise $10 million for the Premier through private dinner parties. He said he couldn't possibly have known about the tax in advance. Why not? Well, according to Mr. Rennie, quote, "I don't speak to them about that because it's my core competency," unquote. But both the Premier and her housing minister knew that their chief fundraiser's explanation about how we couldn't possibly know simply wasn't true. So to the Premier, why didn't she set the record straight?
Madam Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I will do my best to observe your admonition of a few moments ago in my answer today. But let me start by saying this. The tax on foreign purchasers in British Columbia has done exactly what the government and what citizens hoped it would do, and that is slow down the tremendous growth in the cost of housing in the Lower Mainland. We did it. The NDP opposed it. It turned out it did exactly what we expected it would do. The foreign buyers tax, the luxury tax on homes over $2 million, the almost $1 billion investment in affordable housing, the biggest investment from any government in a single year in Canadian history. The changes in the property purchase tax for first-time and new home buyers. The home program, again, one that the member of the opposition said he would scrap, but one that is tremendously important for getting young people into their first home by helping them scrape together their first down payment. Housing is something we need to keep within the reach of middle-class people in British Columbia. Our government is taking action. We are going to make sure that we continue to take this action because every British Columbian deserves the opportunity to own their own home.
Member for Vancouver Point Grey on a supplemental.
Well, thank you, Honourable Speaker. I know the Premier doesn't want to talk about her cozy relationship with Mr. Rennie and how that led to 2 years of the opposition trying to get her attention while home prices in Metro Vancouver spiked over $600,000. But we're going to talk about that, Madam Speaker, because the Premier's relationship and her housing minister's relationship with Mr. Rennie as chief fundraiser is very clear. The housing minister exchanged multiple emails with Mr. Rennie in which he and Mr. Rennie discussed budget measures related to real estate and the environmental approval process in relation to a major housing development near Squamish that Mr. Rennie surely hoped to market. They also talked about classic cars, Madam Speaker. As for the Premier, Mr. Rennie forwarded a proposal for the Metro Vancouver real estate market to Carol Taylor, the Premier's special advisor, saying, quote, "We need a very visible approach to curbing speculation and the optics of working towards affordability." That email was forwarded by the Premier's special advisor to the Premier's Director of Policy. Mr. Rennie apparently forgot that he talks to the highest levels in this government about real estate policy. So will the Premier now admit that Mr. Rennie, major fundraiser, dinner party host, BC Liberal Party insider, and friend, had it right the first time when he talked to the reporter, and he said he had advance notice of the foreign buyer tax?
Madam Premier.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. I'm sure a lot of developers and people in the development industry had a lot of feelings about the foreign tax. And what we discovered after we introduced it is that almost to a person, they don't like it. Just like the NDP, they opposed the foreign buyers tax. We charged ahead with it anyway because we want to make sure that housing stays affordable for middle-class British Columbians. It's part of a long suite of changes that we've made. The member might be interested to know the program, the home program, that's designed to help young people scrape together that first down payment. The program that he says he would like to see scrapped has already had over 100 approvals from people buying homes in just the city of Vancouver. I know the foreign tax, it was not popular with developers, but I do know that it's popular with British Columbians because it did exactly what we had hoped it would do, and that slowed down the explosive growth in the cost of housing in the Lower Mainland. It's been popular because it works, and it's something that the government has supported because we believe in the right of middle-class British Columbians to be able to have a part of the dream of owning their own home.
Vancouver Point Grey on a final supplemental.
Well, Honourable Speaker, I know the Premier doesn't want to talk about her relationship with Mr. Rennie. Again, no answer to the question. But it wasn't just email access to the highest levels of this government that Mr. Rennie got for being chief fundraiser for the Premier and dinner host. It got him so much more. Mr. Rennie met with the Premier's special advisor in April of 2016 and again in June of 2016, just weeks before the foreign buyer tax was announced. Imagine, Honourable Speaker, Mr. Rennie's joy when the Premier formally announced a few weeks later that she'd be bringing in a foreign buyer tax, but that she'd be exempting the speculation on pre-sale condos. Now, why would Mr. Rennie be happy about that, Madam Speaker? Well, selling pre-sale condos is why Mr. Rennie is the condo king, Madam Speaker. That's his core competency. How can the Premier defend giving her chief fundraiser access to the most senior policy members in her office weeks before the foreign buyer tax was introduced, and then exempting his core business from that same foreign buyer tax, and then when he told the media that he never talked to the Premier's office and he never talked to her ministers about real estate policy in BC, not setting the record straight because it wasn't true?
Madam Premier.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. Just like all the members of this House who on that day when the legislation was introduced were shocked because they had no advance notice, nor did anyone in the industry have any advance notice that this was going to happen. Just to point out how silly the member's argument is, after the fact, we saw all kinds of media coverage of developers and people who depend on the development industry complaining loudly and tenaciously, along with the NDP, that the foreign tax was exactly the wrong thing to do. Well, guess what? It turned out to be absolutely the right thing to do. It slowed down the explosive growth in the real estate market, inflated prices, all of which benefit the people who sell homes professionally. We slowed that down exactly as we had planned to do, and in doing so, we are making sure, I know the NDP don't care if people get to own their own home, but on this side of the House, we believe that home ownership, the opportunity to wake up in a place you can call your own, a place that you can raise your children in, a place where you won't have to move at the end of every month, or you can be in for the rest of your life, is important as an important dream for thousands and thousands of British Columbians. On the free enterprise side of this House, we understand that that dream is real, we understand why it's important, and we are going to continue to make sure we keep that dream within the reach of middle-class British Columbians.